How's it going, guys? Welcome back to TheBlueShifting and welcome back to Chuusotsu, first graduation. And last time we got to see a really fun, just kind of get to know you session, which is really interesting, where we got to see the three girls. While they definitely are not agreeing on how to approach the philosophy question problem, they did eventually find common ground on just going shopping. So they went to the electronics store, got like a new game console. They went to the bookstore. They went somewhere between. Oh yeah, they went to like a sweet shop or like a bakery, I think. So yeah, they got that. They pretty much had an awesome day out, and they were able to kind of get a little bit of everything that they were looking for. And it was cool to see kind of them in their element, but we're also already starting to see some rifts, specifically with Arara. She just is not interested in tackling the philosophy question right now. So we're gonna see what happens. They only have so much time before they can answer this first question. If they fail, they're kicked out and they're out of the program. So this could all come crashing and burning right away, so I'm not sure what exactly to expect, but hey, you know what? At least they're enjoying themselves. I'm going to turn this up a bit. There we go. That should be a little bit better. Anyway, yeah, so we're going to see how things play out here. I'm not sure exactly what to expect, but I don't know. I think that they're going to be able to find something. I think the bonding time was really important, because I think that getting their hearts in sync is going to be a lot determined a lot by them being friends and understanding each other. So while Arue might think that otherwise, I think it was a good way to spend time. So anyway, we've kind of wrapped up the evening. She's taken her bath, and now we're going to probably hear her do some monologuing about the woes of how she's feeling. Night after the bath. Her smartphone's light was blinking. She picked it up and checked it. Probably from her mom. Brother. She froze in place with smartphone in hand. Hesitation. Conflict. And... oh, come on. You're just wondering how you're doing. Every household has its own circumstances. Arue put her smartphone down by her pillow and crawled into bed. 5:30 a.m. Even though the sun rose early in April, it was still somewhat dark outside. Scratch, scratch. There were some scraping noises coming from the living room. And I'm hearing sounds like a broadcast? Maybe the building itself was creaking? It seemed a bit too rhythmic for that. This was a new condominium. It was hard to think that it could be caused by aging materials. Then what was it? A paranormal phenomena? Maybe a poltergeist? The creepy creaking continued. Arue woke up. Arue. I'm thinking I'm rushing her name too much. It's Arue. Arue. She was up much earlier than usual. Rubbing her sleepy eyes, she turned to face the veranda window. The dim morning light was shining through the curtains. Was it you making that noise? Right. So I wondered, she wants to get a re-examination. Is that part of this program, or is that independent of this program? I kind of thought it was going to be one and the same, but it might not be. Just then... scratch, scratch. Scratch, 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 scratch. Huh? Yeah, sure.
お化けさん、いるなら返事してみてくださいよ。都合よく写真の隅っこなんかに微妙なアピールしないで、堂々と正面切って出てきてみてくださいよ。
And then something answers her.
ほら、何も起きない。これだから信用できないんですよ、オカルトは。現世に未練があるとか言うなら、ピンポン押して訪ねてくればいいのにってもんですよ。
Careful what you wish for. Scratch, 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 scratch. Arue collapsed, her legs unable to bear her weight any longer. Slide. The window opened. She fainted. Yep, she's out. Koiro parted the curtains and stepped inside. Her skin was a bit blushed, almost as if her body was unusually hot. Did you climb up the building? She pulled at something from outside. It was a rope attached to a laundry pole. Yeah, what? Oh my gosh. Hanging sit-ups. What a freaking beast. Sit-ups are normally, like, I hate sit-ups normally. She seemed to have been doing some sit-ups while hanging upside down from the pole like a bat. Outside? Was she just hanging on over the balcony, or was she like literally over the building? She cleaned up and went back into her room. Ara's corpse is lying at her feet.
Arue?
She clapped her hands together. I guess so. What a heartwarming misunderstanding. She lifted Arara up like one would a princess. She intended to carry her to her room. Interesting. So, I'm kind of thinking that Koiro might have a authorization to seal. Otherwise, why would she have this, like, physical boost? 6:20 a.m. After laying Arara down in her bed, Koiro put on her shoes and went outside. She was jogging. She ran at a marathoner's pace. Good grief, woman. This was one of her daily activities. Not just her jogging, but her training in general. Weights, circuit, interval, and image training. She did them all daily rotation. It had become a habit of hers, but she did have a purpose in doing so. I need to learn from you. A promise. Indeed, it was a promise. With a person Koiro respected more than anyone else. With a trainer who changed her life. A promise. Some would call it an oath. To Koiro, it was a promise she wanted to keep no matter what. Therefore, her mornings were early. She started roughly an hour earlier. The reason? It was a manga that led to her the day before. Once she started reading it, she found it unexpectedly interesting and ended up not sleeping all that much. Midnight snuck up on her without a warning. Even after going to bed and waking up, she still felt some of the last night's leftover excitement and decided to make use of it during her training. Dang, that's impressive. Yeah, she's been converted. Aww. She pulled out another rope from her backpack. She wrapped it twice around a large tree, leaving both ends in the same direction. Both ends of the rope were extended toward her. She took them by her hand and... Is she just trying to pull the tree down? She shook them up and down. She shook them like a jump rope again and again. Oh, okay, is that like doing like this? Yeah, okay. I've seen people doing that before. I've never done it. Though it seemed basic, it was actually a highly efficient form of physical exercise. Well, don't remember that. She made sure to use a tough rope. In the distant past, the protective organization known as the Japanese Self-Defense Force used this exercise for rappelling training. Koiro learned it from a person she made that promise with her trainer. 7:30 a.m. Inside apartment 1401 in the Tabula Rasa building. Right around that time, Arara came out crawling from underneath Ara's bed, causing her to fall unconscious after having just recovered. Oh, poor Arue. She's like woke up, she's like, what happened? She swings out and then like crawls out from under her bed. Alright, breakfast, go buy some manga. It was the dawn of a new day for our Chuusotsu girls. As soon as the three of them had met up in the same room, Arara took charge and uttered those words. Koiro raised her hand. Arara nodded and told Koiro that she was right. Alright. She took out a flip book. Oh dear, what is this? I don't know.
あ、そういえば昨日お昼ご飯食べてなかった。
I don't think that was the issue. I found like a... Oh, that's what that is. Okay. I found that mysterious piece of paper and I could not help myself but look at it.
いやいや違いますし、だいたいたらふくケーキ食べたじゃないですか。
Not my back.
でもお米食べなかった。
So if you don't eat rice, you didn't eat food? Koiro looked up at Arue with the eyes of an abandoned kitten.
藤崎さんは何かありませんか？
同胞、絵が上手。
それほどでも。
Oh, but she's so happy about that. She broke pretty easily.
そんなことは今はいいんです。
I think
嬉しいけど。
if we're gonna appreciate like where we went wrong yesterday, Arue, it's the fact that you break so easily. Like you had such determination to just completely floundered away, and like you let them have whatever they wanted.
冗談ですよね。本当にわからないんですか？昨日は遊んでばかりで哲学のことなんてほとんど頭になかったじゃないですか。でも楽しかったよ。それがダメなんです。いいですか？勉強っていうのはどれだけ緊張感を保てるかが重要なんです。プレッシャーなくして学問の習熟は望めないものなんですよ。
She was quite biased. That was all coming from experience. From the time she cast aside everything and decided to study extra hard for her family.
一人ずつバラバラに行動すれば誘惑も分散するはずです。そこで各自が真剣に哲学と向き合えばおのずと課題に対する気持ちも一致してくると思うんです。
I don't doubt that, but you know, whatever. She slaps the flipbook with a thump.
よく言う、同じ山を違う方向から登るっていう考え方だね。
なるほど。あららは同胞に同意しましょう。でも一つ質問。
And what is this gonna be?
同胞はいつになったら世界を救う旅に出てくれる？
You know, maybe we could channel her energy better if we convinced her that this was to save the world.
また始まった。いいや、適当に合わせとこう。この課題をクリアしたらいくらでも付き合ってあげますよ。
その言葉に嘘はない？
ああ、ないない。
Yeah, yeah.
あららは同胞を信じていい？
I hope so.
はい。まあ、いいんじゃないですか。
本当に
Oh, she's getting really into it.
ちょっと顔が近いですって。わかりましたから。信用でも信仰でも好きにしてくれて構いませんから。
Don't break your promise.
同胞、運命の人。
ちゃんと哲学やってくださいよ。
わかってる。ソウルのシンクロなどあららにお任せあれ。
Well, it's temporary, but she's on board.
そう。あららの手にかかれば心を一致させるなど。
I hope so.
そして同胞と一緒に未来を切り開く冒険へと。
Oh, that's a creepy laugh.
キモ。
Ow, my chair is really uncomfortable today for some reason. On the shopping mall rooftop. Aside from the parking garage across the street, the place gave a clear view of the surroundings. Supposedly, it was an initial design to store playground equipment. There was a girl by the fence, her skin caressed by the wind. As if standing on some sort of pallet place marker, she occupied the exact same spot she did during her first meeting with Arara. The music's reminding me of Sherlock for some reason. She stared at the metal tower through the wire fence. It was as if she were looking at the murderer of her parents. But in reality, Arara was her parents' true enemy. She often made them cry. Aww. She made them upset, gnashed their teeth, and even stomped their feet in frustration like children. Why are you always like this? Such were the cursed words that so often assailed Arara.
思い出すたびうずき出す。
Is it your left hand or your right hand that tingles? Your right hand.
お腹がうずく。
That was just a stress-induced stomachache.
おのれ、 こんな苦痛に悩まされるのも全ては世界統括者のせい。
She said all this while taking some pan serum. Is that supposed to be like something to help your stomach?
アララの両親をポイズンパルスの毒牙にかけガイストを犯し、回りくどい手で救世主たるアララを弱体化させたその罪、マジ許すマジ。
Right.
それくらいの遺恨用意しろ遺言。
The last bit came out as a rhyme. Well, this was the basis of Arara's actions. Number 1, world dominate brainwashes the entire world with a poison pulse. Number 2, Fujisaki Arara is born as a savior. Number 3, the world dominator brainwashes Arara's parents. Number 4, her parents are mad or sad about what Arara says. 5, a sense of crisis builds in Fujisaki Arara over the world dominator.
アララの両親が泣くのは世界統括者のせい。アララの両親があんたはどうしていつもそうなのを使うようになったのはどう考えてもポイズンパルスの影響。
So they weren't very tolerant of her, like, antics.
早く同胞に確信を打ち明け相談せねば。
What Arara needed to consult with was a mental health clinic. Aw, narrator, you're a little harsh.
あの野郎め。
This was an entirely one-sided feeling of spite. She walked down to the square. It was noon on a weekday. People were busy working. There wasn't a single healthy 15-year-old anywhere. Dang, ouch! The scene that Arara so feared was unfolding before Arara's very eyes. But as Arara mentally walked through it as if she were some sort of royal princess, she felt no unease about her small stature either. She possessed an iron will, amplified by the messed up things she would always say, which also enabled her to do this.
メシア道具その6。
Oh no. She ready to dowsing rod.
有害量子の運動を計測し、まずは使徒の数を探る。
Oh man, she really takes this super far, doesn't she?
逃しはせん、逃しはせんぞ。
She started her search, giggling to herself maniacally. When suddenly... Ow! She bumped into what seemed to be a young 18-year-old housewife. Whoa, that's... I guess it's legal, but that seems young. Ow! Some kind of rod stuck up my butt. Well, the dividing rod, that's for sure. Huh? What's with this girl? She's dowsing in a mall? She's looking for a source of water? She looked at Arara in disbelief. The surrounding people started to notice her as well. Normally, this would be the type of situation where one would desire to dig a hole and bury themselves in it. However...
使徒
Huh?
メンタルを毒されてらっしゃる。
Oh man.
何も反応がないところを見ると、どうやら使徒のようだ。
Don't do anything bad. Don't do anything bad.
こんな早期にエンカウントしてしまうとは。
Arara pulled back her sleeves. There were bandages wrapped up her left wrist. Okay, so it is her left arm. Oh, come to think of it, I forgot to buy toilet cleaner. She quickly left.
尻尾を巻いて逃げたか。あらら、ウィン。
Sure. Apparently, she won. Man, paper girl. Man, you seem to be doing some fun stuff. An easy-looking chick approached her.
ああ、
I write for a newspaper at a nearby middle school. Would you let me interview you? I'm in the middle of a contest with the official newspaper club. I stepped out of school to find some leads.
消え失せるがいい。
No, don't say that. Just help me out here.
他人の態度と都合を配慮してから口を開け。自己中は。
Can you say that about yourself, too? Generally speaking, Arara didn't really reflect on her actions. Wow, elementary schoolers these days sure are rude. Crack.
分野。貴様の年は。
Huh? I'm 13. Why? Crack pop.
アララは満15。今年16の立派なレディー。アララの方がお姉さんだ。覚えておけ。
What? No way! I thought you weren't even 2 digits yet. That's hilarious! Crack, pop, crack. So then, what were you doing here? You were muttering something while holding that weird stick.
面倒だ。ここは適当にあしらん。
Oh no, what's generic for you? Arara's attitude matched that of Arara toward her. Oh, that's silly. As a rule, Arara never reflected on her own actions.
ポイズンパルスの発生源たる世界統括者の手がかりを探していた。そいつをコテンパンにし、ヘルに叩き落とすために。
Interesting. Well, poison?
世界統括者。この世界を裏から支配する悪の親玉です。
Evil? She thought for a bit. Oh! Oh! She clapped her hands together. I get it! It's the setting of the game you're playing! Are you in the middle of writing your dark history? Ooh. Ooh, that was... Ooh, snap. I see. The world ruler, huh?
世界統括者だ。
Oh, right. But that's pretty much the same thing. Huh? Why are you lowering your head? Did I make you mad? She's gonna freaking jump on you. Arara lifted her head.
怒ってないです。
Ooh, why am I scared of that face more than any other face? Her tone was strangely lighthearted. Whew, that's a relief. Hey, tell me more about it. I want to be a part of your dark history too.
そうですか。参加したいですか。
Oh no. Her expression was oddly peaceful.
いいでしょう。
She's gonna go to jail. She even seemed quite adorable.
ただし。
Oh no. And somewhat abnormal.
あららに目を預けるなら。ね。
What is this? Huh?
あららの目を見て。
That's kind of scary. That was like, that's really scary. Yes?
あなたはだんだん痛くなる。
Yes?
少しずつ意識が遠くなっていって、やがてあなたの目をあららに渡したくなる。
What does she mean by that? I don't know if I want to know, but I've gotta have to know. Ugh, what? She stopped saying anything.
よし、久々だったけど成功。分野、犬の真似をしろ。
Hold fetch, it worked. She barked just as she was told.
猿の真似。
She started jumping around.
イグアナの真似。
Why does this sit there? She did the same motions as the legendary TV host Morita. I don't know who that is.
パーフェクト。
She wallowed in her self-satisfaction.
一芸スキル。サイコテイム。完了。
Okay. Psycho Tame? Where's the mark? No. Okay. Where's this new... It said a new tip came up. What is it? What history... Oh, wait. Okay, here it is. Okay, so the official name, Admissions Office Skill, also known as Performance Skill or AOS. A special skill possessed by only those who were selected or volunteered and passed auditions by the Admission Policy Agency of the Federation. The skill can be anything, but the difference from the regular aptitude test is that they put even more weight on the auditionees' activity logs stored in their personal number. Thus, only 1 out of a few million has this skill, making it one of the most difficult auditions in the whole world. Once you pass it, you're given a special skill seal separate from your authorization seal. The special skill seal, just like the personal number, blends into your body and shows no external characteristics. It functions whether or not you wear an authorization seal. Okay, so that's what both these girls have. So she has some kind of hypnotism that she can do, and Koiro can enhance her body. They obviously must be these performance skills. I'm glad I finally got around to answering that question, because that makes a lot of sense. Okay. Performance skill. These were skills that only one person in a million, in short, only the truly gifted, were said to possess. These types of skills could be used to produce supernatural effects, regardless of authority seals. Was it God's whim that gave the skills to the demon-like Arara? No one knew. Interesting. Ooh. So that almost makes you like a superpower. Meanwhile, Koiro left the bookstore, having purchased tons of manga. She's been converted. She looked over and saw Arara. She was right in the middle of pestering a young housewife. So she watched the whole thing? Because, like, what housewife was the one that got the stick on the butt? A middle schooler soon took the place of the young housewife and started doing animal impressions. Yep. She wandered over to her.
Arara? Ah, Koiro-san. すっごい楽しそうなことしてるね.
She sighed. Troublesome events just kept cropping up, one after another.
世界統括者をしばき倒す道中で邪魔が入っただけです。ポイズンパルスに毒された使徒崩れの邪魔がね。わかったらアララを一人に。やっぱり楽しそう。一人に。私も混ぜて。これは遊びじゃないです。そうなの？
She tilted her head to the side.
アララは共にガチれるメンツしかパーティーに入れないです。私ガチるよ。
Koiro is such a sweetheart.
一緒に世界救いたい。
Aww. She answered without missing a beat.
じゃあ、
She like doesn't know what to do with herself. Yay! It was in this moment that the ones who would save the world finally assembled. Meanwhile, at the condominium, Arara's pen had a life of its own. Her eyes were focused, reminiscent of an athlete's. The nearby mug had already been emptied. The scratching sound of a pen on paper pierced holes into the silence of the room. Arara had always been extremely focused. Once she got really caught up in something, she would block out even the sound of the outside world. One of the reasons she suggested they study on their own was because she wanted to be alone. Concentration. Mental focus. It was as if her body and mind were one. Her large pile of documents was representation of this. This was Arue's Bible. Newspapers, ad pamphlets, and pages printed off her school's network. Scraps. She accumulated all these into a homemade file. Having been raised in an impoverished household without even the most basic of luxuries, this was something she created at a young age. All that effort was about to finally bear fruit. It would show its true worth. In the end, what exactly did it for 15 years and a few months amount to? It was complete. I'm kind of getting a feeling she's going to have a special skill too, and that's what we're learning about. And that would definitely put some interesting twists onto what they're actually doing here and why they were selected. She felt a mixture of joy and sadness. As a result, the words of a literary snob leaked from her mouth. Arue's life work finally came to fruition on top of this desk. It was a beautiful girl. It's the same one! She was a demi-human vampire girl with cat ears. It's one of those things you could buy in bulk at a used goods store. But this was the fruit of Arue's labor. The prize of which she would immolated a piece of her soul to obtain. In other words, it was her life. It wasn't philosophy then, was it? Yep, this was an incarnation of Marisugawa Arara's. No, she didn't have any power. Swipe. She smacked away the cutesy illustration along with the rest of her Bible. She tapped her smartphone. Her mother gave it to Arue when the latter decided to come to Tokyo. She'd had to fully master its functions, but she knew enough to fire up the web browser. She found a page titled Learn Philosophy Through Manga. Oh, geez. The page had the words of lives and famous philosophers, both ancient and new, conveyed in the form of manga. Now, interesting, actually, there was an anime that came out a while ago, like something like Elitist School, like School of the Elites or something, that actually had lots of, like, it would talk a lot about some philosophy, like, it would have the subject being brought up in the episode, they would actually quote sections of philosophical texts. It was kind of cool. The site's concept was just a title suggested. It was designed to explain philosophy using manga. A professional manga artist was hired to handle the illustrations, so the quality was very high. Ooh, I'd love to visit something like this if this were real. This was its downfall. Pythagoras? No, it's a lesson, not the picture. She got excited. She became fascinated with the artwork, not the content. Oh, I moved the screen. Let's just move that back. Hope my editing doesn't mess that up at all. Now, was Pythagoras? He was a mathematician. I don't think he's a philosopher. Although I'm sure he probably philosophized a little bit. He was back in the day when, like, intelligent people just did everything. She became enlightened. She silently stood up. She uttered a dangerous phrase. It was that same impulse that overcame her after running away from Koiro. Whenever her mental stress became too much to bear, Arara went to the rooftop. One could start worrying about whether or not this rooftop was had high fences installed. Oh, jeez! She put on her shoes in the entrance hall, but when she tried to turn the doorknob, it opened by itself. Huh? Yeah, she's kind of had a bad day. Koiro put down her shopping bags and slipped up behind Arara. Then gave her shoulders a light tap. Arara wobbled around a bit.
Yeah.
She raised her hand. I'm completely at a loss there. What's a Hylic? Yeah, I'm confused too. I don't even know what those words were. Oh, yes. I remember Fetish did that a lot. It's like the Chunibyo way to twist the truth to fit your narrative. She couldn't really blame them.
何から話せばいいかな。本屋さんに行って漫画買って、それで
広場のベンチで読もうと思ったらね、アララがいて。
ハチスカさん、ちょっとストップ。珍しくマシンガントークしてくれるのは嬉しいんですけど、とりあえず荷物下ろしません？
Aww.
一旦落ち着きましょう。
So sweet. They're so sweet with each other.
そうだね。もうそろそろ時間切れになるし。
時間というか、結構大きい荷物ですけど。
Oh yeah, lots of manga.
お米。
That's not, no. There was about 20 kilograms worth. Oh, what?
ハチスカさん、長期滞在する気満々ですね。頼もしいのかな。
They gathered around the table.
いただきます。
After giving thanks for the food, they began to eating. Oh, that's adorable.
漫画日本昔話みたいな盛り付けの仕方ですけど、そんなにいっぱい食べられるんですか？
お米。
そうですか。でもまあ、おかずは出来合いだけど、炊きたてご飯はやっぱりいいものですね。
Plain white rice? I can't imagine. Like, how can is there anybody out there who actually can just eat plain white rice and be okay with that? Because I mean, sure, if I really had nothing else to work with, I would do that. But like, even just a little bit of sauce or something?
他のお料理はできないけど、お米だけは炊けるんだ。体が覚えてるんだね。本当によかった。
She made a faint smile.
シールがなくても感覚でできるっていうことは結構ありますよね。私も漫画なら。
She hurriedly closed her mouth.
いえ、漫画ならいつでも楽しく読めるなーって。
Come on, be proud of who you are.
それは私も同じ。
むしろ中学生というジョブのシールに縛られていた頃より抑圧から解放された今の方が。
それはまあその通りですけど、でもだからといって藤崎さんも冒険ばっかりしてないでくださいね。世界の音敵より今の課題と向き合ってくださいよ。
ご心配なさらず、同胞との約束を違えることはしないです。
Good, good, good.
その自信と余裕、何か良いアイデアとか浮かんだんですか？
アイデアというか心のシンクロを実感した。
Ooh. Hey, maybe that's true. Where the start Arare suddenly stood up.
どういうことか詳しく。
まあそう焦らず、小色さん説明を。
After receiving Arare's order, Koiro stood at attention.
ハチスカさん？
あるえ、よく聞いて。世界は今、混沌に満ちているんだ。
I've also noticed this. Koiro kind of seems like a sponge. Like, she kind of just takes in whatever is like brought in front of her. She kind of just accepts it as it is. Could be considered naivete, but it's also just wholesome.
何を言って。
ちょっと詳しい内容は忘れちゃったけど、なんか悪い人がどこかにいて、その人が街の鉄塔を、超能力みたいので操っていて。
You know, to be fair though, we've just learned that superpowers are kind of a thing in this world. So isn't it possible there could be somebody who's actually like exerting control over others using one of these, what were they called again? The AOSs? Like, I mean, that's within the realm of possibilities at this point. She might not be too far off the truth.
ちょっとストップ。止まって、ハチスカさん。急にどうしたんです？ハチスカさんまでサイコさんっぽいこと言い出して、藤崎さんの真似しても全然かっこよくないですよ。
小色さんはアララの子分になって
仲間に入れてもらえるか使用期間中なんだ。
Of course you would. Koiro, you'll be great at whatever you want to do. She made a very, very disappointed sigh.
あとは正式に同胞とパーティーを組むだけ。
True, technically they might achieve some synchronicity if they do that.
アルエ待ちだね。あらら。
ラララ友人ちゃん、フォロスよ。元気っすか？ありゃ、なんだかテンション激低っすね。
女の子の日っすか？何も反応がない。おかしいっす。いつもだったらここで沸騰した夜間みたいになるとこなのにっす。
To be fair, she might have just faded.
ハチスカさんがまさかの闇落ち。なんであの子一体どんな手品使ったの？
It's no trick. It's just there's no guile in Koiro. Like, none at all.
というか適当にあしらうつもりでパーティー入り OK しちゃったけど、このままクリアしちゃったら実現。
Well, you made a promise. She started to imagine it. The three Chuusotsu girls shouting about the world's crisis in the middle of a large crowd.
ありえない、ありえない、ありえない、ありえない、ありえない、ありえない、ありえない、ありえない、ありえない、ありえない。
準備は OK っすか？では答えてくださいっす。小色さん。
OK。あら
Oh
ら。
no. They were in perfect unison. The two of them put their hands on the crystal in her face.
素晴らしい人生とは。
Synchronization rating is sufficient.
あれなんで？綺麗事みたいに綺麗な言葉でしたっすが、綺麗に外してしまったっすね。
Aww.
シンクロ率が足りない。そんなバカな。まさか同胞が。いや、そんなはずがない。だって同胞は初めてアララの。
ごめん、アルエ。今回はうまくいくと思ったんだけど。
いえ、いいんですよ。また次回頑張ればいいんです。私も集中力のことでは人のこと言えませんし、お絵かきとかしてましたので。
I really do wonder if Arue is the one that's holding them back now.
そうだ。次がある。花から自力で心の一致ができるとは思っていないし、次こそはアララの秘術をご覧に入れましょう。
Ironically, she does have a hidden power. I just don't think that's what she's talking about right now. Interesting. Whoa. Ooh, hello. What is this? The city at night. There were drunk businessmen, workers with toting seals, inviting people to their restaurants. Lost girls and boys. The look of the marketplace was entirely different compared to the daytime. Having finished dinner, Koiro also mixed into the scene. She stood still and took a deep breath.
この空気、懐かしいな。
There was the damp smell of nighttime. The smell of vehicle exhaust, strong perfume, and the smoke coming from restaurant roasters all mixing together. It was far from pleasant. But it gave Koiro a feeling of homesickness.
みんなとも、こんな夜に始まったんだよね。
And weird, she looks a lot older from like the way she's portrayed right here. She doesn't look like she's supposed to be 15, but yeah, whatever. She began to reminisce about her Yokosuka days, the friends she had in her hometown. When judged based on their looks alone, they were delinquents, but on the inside, they were pure. I felt nostalgic how they used to call her boss. It wasn't quite the relationship Koiro had hoped for, but they were still her dearest friends and comrades.
今はもう、なくしちゃったけど。
She lost them. Right when she graduated from middle school. Right when her seal was peeled off her right hand. She was no longer able to laugh with them like she did in the past. So I wonder why she lost her seal. That made her sad. They were difficult times.
だけど、一人になったからこそ。
That she could start over. And go back to the beginning of those days, when the name Yokosuka White Rabbit first echoed throughout the streets. During her nighttime patrols, she kept the streets safe. This was originally one aspect of her training. Her innate sense of righteousness ended up bringing back young girls and boys from the jaws of vice. So she's almost like a paladin, like a defender of justice and like keeping people like safe. Can I have a moment of your time? I'm part of an organization that provides work opportunities for sealless girls like you. Huh? But isn't this some sort of loot job? Heavens, no, not the slightest. Huh? Are you talking to me? Yes, from what I can tell, you aren't married. It can be quite difficult making ends meet without a housewife seal, don't you think? Huh, well, that certainly is true. I'm not really interested in any indecent jobs. You say indecent, but we're legally recognized by the government. If you think about it, we're doing an important service to the country. We can't force you into anything like the P3 law does, but I do think hearing me out would be beneficial for your future. Hey you, girl with the souvenir jacket. You looking for work by any chance? Unbeknownst to anyone, night patrol girl was added to Kokiro's daily routine. Interesting. Interesting. So she genuinely, like, when we met Arara, when she met Arara when she was talking to the guy, she probably was on a kind of a patrol. She was trying to make sure that everything was going to be okay. Interesting. Very, very fascinating indeed. Oh, I think we're going to end it here. Yeah. Well, actually, no. Let's go on a little longer. I'm thinking it felt like a decent time to stop, but let's keep going. The morning streets. As the main street intercourses were bustling with the morning scramble of its occupants, a public service announcement was being broadcast to the street television board. Arue was absentmindedly gazing upward. Needless to say, she couldn't understand what was being broadcast.
Arue? 信号変わったよ。
はい、すみません。
She seemed out of it. Even the local newspaper didn't have an impact on her daily life. This was all because she lost her seal. Without an intelligence boost, she couldn't read anything longer than 3 lines. Oh, really? It was not as if the memories, knowledge, and words that were drilled into her head disappeared overnight, but when she tried to use them, her thoughts became fuzzy. It was akin to opening one's eyes underwater, or the feeling one had shortly after applying eye drops. Arue's imagination and reasoning had been replaced by some formless thing. All she could really grasp were fun things.
最悪。このまま課題をクリアできないで実家に帰ることになったら、今度こそ。
There must be something else going on with her, because that seems like, I thought she was just a bit of an airhead before, but it's like she legitimately can't comprehend things that are more complex than a couple sentences long. That's kind of disturbing.
ねえ、アルエ。あそこにいる子って。
Arara looked up after being tapped on the shoulder. She was still in the middle of this intersection. Just how slow was she walking? Is that her again? She spotted a familiar hood in front of her, beyond 2 other people.
いや、心。奇遇だね。
Koiro called after her to tap her on the shoulder.
お姉さんたちですよ。おはようございますですよ。
Having been addressed by Koiro, she put away the smartphone she was holding.
歩きスマホ、危ないよ。しかも、こんな大きい交差点で。
Who is she?
ごめんなさいですよ。もうしませんですよ。
一人でお出かけ？
完全にお一人様ですよ。
学校、お休みの日なのかな？私たちは毎日お休みだけど。
羨ましい限りですよ。
But isn't she part of the same program? They finished crossing the intersection.
これからドンキッキにお買い物行くとこだったですよ。
Don Quinn. I don't know how to. Q is Q still Qua in Japanese? I don't know. A general discount chain with stores all over Japan.
ドンキッキか。
Don
私の地元じゃ他に何もなくていっぱい人が集まってたな。
激安の殿堂ですよ。
I think it's raining.
はい、よく買い物にも行ってました。うちものすっごく貧乏でしたし。でも暗くなるとちょっと怖そうな見た目の人が増えて近寄りがたかったっけ。あの頃はあの人たちはみんな低級シールなんだって思ってたな。
But now she was in an even lower position. Arue felt bad about this.
私らもちょうど買い物に行くところだったんだ。
だったらお姉さんたちも一緒にゴーですよ。
Sweet. She stretched out her hand toward Arue. Her facial expression was entirely unreadable, but her hand was one size smaller than Arue's. This very hand was calling out for Arue. It needed her. Just like that, the shadow of doubt in Arue's heart.
はい、そうですね。一緒に行きましょう。
Aww. Vanished as she regained a bit of her energy. That's very sweet. Inside the store. Alright, now we should probably wrap up. Now we kind of got this next thing, so we're going to go shopping with the strange dog girl and see what's going to happen today. And maybe we'll find a little bit of synchronization between Arara and Koiro, and then we'll eventually kind of tie them all together, hopefully. Be a short game if they don't. Anyway, I don't know. This is a very pleasant, methodical one. I think the biggest thing was learning about these kind of superpower abilities that people can be granted without necessarily... It doesn't seem like it would be necessarily something the government hands out. So I wonder what force is behind handing those out specifically. It talked about before that it's possessed by those who were selected or volunteered. Like, so they either were selected or they volunteered in past auditions. So you can try and get one, or you can just be given one. So why were they given these? I wonder. It might have just something to do with like innate ability, maybe. Like it's building off of like an innate talent they already kind of had, and then like emphasizing it greatly. But I don't know. It's really interesting. The premises of this are really fascinating, and so like we spend a lot of time kind of plodding along, just kind of going through life, but we keep getting these little tidbits, these tiny little snippets of just really interesting information, and I wonder how it's going to pay off in the end. But I don't know. I'll have to find out. Wait, there's also something win. So there's a sign in the back, if you can see, like top right, and it says West Terrace. We like boil. What's that say? Or we like bolt? I don't know. Like, what is it trying to say? Apparently, like, there's a great YouTuber I like to watch called Abroad in Japan. Guy from Britain who went to Japan kind of on a whim and has lived there ever since. Like, he started teaching English, and now I think he does some other stuff too. But he does a YouTube channel, and he's got some great videos showing like some of the English appropriation that happens in Japan and how amusing it can be. That's probably going to be one of my favorite things about Japan if I ever visit, is seeing how they use English. Because every time it's in an anime or on those billboards or in these vlogs that I see, it's always like, it makes my day. It makes me so happy. Oh, it's so good. But yeah, I guess that I'm not sure if there's anything particular to ask questions about except for those like superpower abilities and like hopefully learning more. And like the thing is, like the fact that the two roommates both have these abilities makes me think that Arara might have one. Maybe she just doesn't know it yet. So that's really cool. I hope that we find that out. And it would also make sense like what this program really is all about. Maybe they lost their seals not because they were failures, but maybe because they're the government's trying to understand why they got these extra abilities that were never assigned or something. Because like the government can control authority seals. So it almost would make sense that they would like specifically ostracize them and then get them together and study them. Because maybe they think that the key is like in how you live your life and like how you think rather than just kind of random chance. So I don't know, I'll have to find out. So thank you so much for being here today. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. As always, it's a pleasure having you around on the channel, and I continue to look forward to these future episodes and learning more about Chuusotsu. So thank you again, and until the next video you're watching me, or hope to see me next. I'll see you there.